First, I want y'all to see this. Turtle Island. Right there. What's his name? Poseidon. The guy Poseidon. Why is he holding on to a turtle? Can we live on Turtle Island? It's very simple. It's the metaphysics to that.
Dolphins are only 17 foot. Larger.
Meaning that Poseidon's one of the gods who reigns supreme over America. I think Poseidon and Zeus are kind of like the same. I think I've heard that before. I think like the same energy, same entity. Anyway, I want to talk about the pros and cons of knowing the future. Well, the pros we already know. You know the future. Right? You know what's going to happen. The cons, not so clear. The cons to knowing the future is that one, when someone knows the future, whether it be through tarot cards, whether it be through premonitions, it's not always clear. A lot of times it's not clear. And sometimes the information you download from that future reading might be a little bit more abstract. So then it becomes difficult trying to understand whether something is abstract, whether something is literal. All right. Another issue with knowing the future is you can't always change it. In fact, a lot of times you can't. A lot of times you got to kind of just accept it. So it's not always grand to actually know what's going to come ahead of you. Now, to an extent, sometimes one can change it. Meaning you can go from one vibration of it to the other side of vibration. Maybe one side of it might be being confused about your life. The other side might be being in a state of innovation, right? Same vibration, different frequency. The upper side and lower side, that frequency. So that is possible at times. It's highly difficult though because it's a chain reaction typically. To try to change one moment in your life but not change the other moments leading up to that moment makes it difficult. So not only another con to knowing the future is that you know the future, you know one aspect. A lot of times we know one aspect or one moment or one situation, but we don't know all the leading up to moments before that. Which also make it difficult as far as like a time frame is concerned, because you might know the future, but you might not know the exact time. A lot of times, usually we don't. If we use like tarot cards, we can get a time frame, But even then, it still gets hard to pinpoint it exactly. But you have to know the other vibrations leading up to it. Otherwise, it becomes highly difficult to try to switch the vibration from negative to positive. Now, here's the other thing about knowing the future. Because you might know the future, and you might know one point in the future, and it might have a negative connotation or a negative aspect to it, a negative perspective. But that negative perspective might have been necessary in order to create a positive result right after. So it's not necessarily always wise. It's like when we go through trials and tribulations in our own life, and then when we get through it, we find that our life was better for it. We receive some sort of benefit from it. It taught us something.
Try hitting it with the side of your hand.
It opened the door for something else, right? We find, okay, I understand why God or the universe put me through that. But if we try to change that scenario, we try to change that negative output, we try to shift it to somewhere else, we might not learn the thing that we're supposed to learn to then get the result we're supposed to get from. So does this mean that we should not know the future? Does this mean that we should not try to understand the future? Does this mean that we should not try to change it? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to understand that there are the possibility of changing the future is difficult. Knowing when the exact future that you're talking about is going to happen is difficult. And knowing whether or not it's good or bad to try to change it or to change it is difficult, because you need to know what's going to happen afterwards. You need to know what's the vibration after that. So these are just some of the... So basically what I'm saying is, just dig deeper than just that one instance, that future premonition that you've gotten or a future that someone has given you. Try to understand what's going to happen, or try to get some information what's going to happen afterwards. Some information what's going to lead up to it, right? That way you can to see if whether or not you should try to change it, and if you even can change it. Because the big thing at the end of the day is to, one, get to a place of acceptance of what is going to happen or what happens. And get into a place of acceptance of what emotions are going to overtake you. Because part of that future is associated with certain emotions. It's usually an emotion that's going to cause you to do something or not do something. And those emotions can pop up for seemingly no reason at all. Well, I know what the reason is. The reason is because it's a certain spirit that's causing it. But essentially, that spirit could pop up. It might be just laying dormant, and all of a sudden it pops up that day. Because it's part of the vibration. You might have been meditating, going for peace and all that type of stuff, and then all of a sudden, you are not at peace. And you end up doing exactly what the vibration said it was going to do, what the future said you were going to do, and then you create the effect that you was hoping out to create. So, the main thing is to come to some sort of level of acceptance of what's going to happen. You might be able to change it, you might not. But come to an acceptance of what's going, at least what could possibly most likely happen. Come to an acceptance of how it's going to make you feel, or how you're going to feel beforehand, or how you're going to feel to cause it, or whatever. And then
get back off this thing.
Understand, or try to come to an understanding of how to break these emotions or feelings associated with these vibrations, i.e., break the spiritual contracts. It's very simple. I hope this helps you understanding the pros and cons, more so the cons of knowing the future and one's responsibility in having this information. Peace.